Wow, Morris, that's the most you've ever come in the door. Hi. Hi, bud. Because Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday. Oh, look at this. Oh, thank you.
And it's got kitten stuff in it.
Ooh, that makes it extra special.
It should be pretty good.
Oh, that's the dye.
Thought so. It's going to be 54 and sunny today. Just a bit chilly out here right now. Haven't heard the hawks today. I don't think they've nested super close to the house. I mean, they come through the yard as part of their territory and looking for food, but I'm sure they'll grab frogs out of our creek for their young because the red-shouldered hawks really like to feed their young frogs. All the kitties are here and doing good. Stripes, well, he was up the hill in the chair just a minute ago. Something had his attention up there last night. I don't know what it was. Spot was able to come and eat. He was actually on the front porch twice for over 15 minutes eating both times. Like in the 6 o'clock hour and the 8 o'clock hour. So that's probably good. He tanks up in the evening. I don't know what he's eating during the day. He's not really coming around here during the day. Don and I are going to be on birdhouse detail. Clean, fix, hang. We're about a week later than we wanted to be, but it's not too late. But we've got to do it today because the birds here will start nesting like now. Hey there, Panther. Hi. Hi. Hello. Hi, Marty. Hey, bud. Yeah, the cats are a little playful, agitated, on the prowl this morning out here. Stripe took off toward where the chickens are, but I don't know that he was after, well, they're in a fenced-in area anyway. I don't know that he was after there. Just don't want any bad things to happen. Mostly to the kittens, the cats, but also, you know, not to the chickens. Dawn said that fox we've seen twice in the last week's more likely to break into the chicken pen than the cat is. He's probably right. There's always something stressing me out. Always something. Hopefully Stripe will come back soon and I'll feel better. I walked up that way, but I didn't see him. Good morning. Hey there, sweetheart. How are you? Hi. Are you a good girl? Yeah, she goes, yes I am, Mom. Yes I am. So Dawn lifted this up here for me. Is this a windmill? Oh, it's a ship. This is a 66 quart bin. So this bin, you can see the Ziploc bag there. It's big. I'm going to pull out the roller coaster track and minifigures and parts of stuff that is already together that I'm not going to take apart till I know what it is and decide. And you know, I could work non-stop till midnight, like inhaling food while I stand here, and I still couldn't sort this entire bin. But I am going to try to understand what's in it, at least some of what's in it. So, I don't know. Till Don's ready to go, I'm letting him enjoy his coffee and his newspaper and Twitter. And he's not on the you can't tell he's reading the newspaper anymore because it's not paper, it's online. But okay, that's a train remote. And it works. It's like the remote in the kitchen for that train that I have. I told Dawn, I don't know how much it goes for, but the remote separate by itself on Bricklink is probably $40 or $50. So, wow. So there's a train in here somewhere. Oh, here's a green. Now I had seen, I don't know what that goes to, but that is a green coaster car. I've seen sand blue coaster cars in here. Yeah, and I'm working on, this is some sort of a dragon, which I would love to reassemble that. And there's a different dragon tail. It's really not nice when there are parts of toy snakes in a bin. I probably don't like that. There's my sunshine Lego buddy nighttime little girl. It's a good girl. So I keep on yelling out to Dawn, look what I found, look what I found, look what I found. Well, there's Mario Kart stuff. There's at least 2 dragons, maybe 3. There's some sort of a bumblebee vehicle that I've got to look at. That shark, I'm pretty sure one of the coasters is this pirate set, and I think that all goes with it. You know, slow but steady wins the race over here. So 60197 is the train. It's from a city set. There's a couple of cars. So I'll be looking for that now that there's another book. That's book 1. I've got book 3. I don't care about the books, but I've got book 5. Yeah, it's a pretty big city train set. I would think if the remote is in here, the train is in here. But we'll find out. So I told Donnie could talk to me while I was sorting, because that doesn't require concentration. I wasn't in the mood to listen to my book right now. I tried to give Don an outlet to talk to. It's really good when JB comes to visit, because JB's an excellent outlet for the kind of conversations. But anyway, well, I just love JB when, you know, you guys get a, you know, chance to talk, whatever. But Kyle tweeted yesterday out in California about how frustrated he was trying to charge up the Taycan because they were at, I don't know where they were, probably Electrify America, could have been EVgo. I didn't catch where they were at.
The chart, yeah. And
some of them were down, and there was like 10 different brands of non-Tesla EVs waiting to charge, and he was frustrated because he had a video to film, and the way he phrased things, some people on Twitter were not happy with it, but several people came to Kyle's defense, and we would too, because we know what he really meant, or we understand the subtleties of what he was trying to say beyond what was actually well, he was frustrated, and Kyle never gets frustrated. So if he was frustrated, there must have been, you know, like a really good reason, right? But, you know, Don and I, we agree. We can meet in the middle on most things. And you know, I tell him I don't agree with you all the time. I mean, I don't hold back. I don't hold back. I'm like, he didn't marry me because I was going to cherish every word that came out of his mouth, right?
Well, that's for sure.
Come on, give me some.
Much argues every word that comes out of my mouth.
Well, I have opinions.
That's right.
And if you engage me in conversation, I'm going to give you.
That's right.
I'm not going to, respectfully or not sometimes, I'm going to. So anyway, that led Dawn into, I'm going to use the word diatribe gently about, Dawn's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's a big word.
Means you were talking about it for a really long time, and you had a lot of information to input on that sort of thing. It could imply you droned on and on. I would say that's not true, but you did have a mouthful to say about it. And this morning's point was, I'm a little bit more okay with people buying an EV and not having a home charger than Dawn is. Right. Well, we're really saying the same thing, but we're saying it a little different. So start with what you were just saying when I went and grabbed the camera. You were saying, Kitten, if you and I moved to an apartment or a rental property, which is not going to happen, but if we did,
we could deal with the charging of an electric car, because I believe after you own an electric car for a period of time, that you understand what it really means to have 20 miles of range or 15 miles or what 5%, all those things. I'm telling you, we arrive home with 2%, and I just happened the last trip, Marianne did not even know when we got home we were like at 3%.
I fell asleep.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't even worth worrying about, because, you know, that's 10 miles or something. Do you know how far 10 miles is? It's a really long way. It doesn't sound like a long way, but when you know you're getting someplace and you know you can charge, getting home with 10 miles is fine. It's no concern. 3 miles. You know, maybe if it was down to 1 mile, and maybe I might be getting a little nervous because the computer could be off by enough to do that. But I'm just saying, as an experienced electric car owner, knowing how charging, the speed of how fast you can expect something to charge, all those types of things, we understand that, and I think we could successfully deal with it. You know, charge at work, charge at friend's house, you know, always be charging. Whereas people who are first-time electric car buyers and do not have a place to charge and depend on public DC fast charging, especially in areas where there's a lot of electric cars like California, They can owning an electric car. Of course, I don't know what the impact $6 a gallon gasoline would have on my logic, because I've never experienced that and I don't want to. But the impact of dealing with trying to find a place to charge it, and the myth of going and charging, you know, they say, oh, well, this thing charges at 220 kilowatts or something. Well, yeah, after you wait in line for 90 minutes, does it really matter?
And for 3 minutes, or you get max charge for 3 minutes, and then it's like, oh God, it slowed down.
So I'm just saying, because we understand all of these things, I think we could deal with it. But a first-time EV owner who doesn't have home, they're going to get frustrated with DC. I believe you could get very frustrated or miscalculate. Marianne's example was, you know, you're going to charge when you shop at Target on Saturdays.
No, that would not be.
That you ought not even think about. Charge at Target at 9 o'clock at night
on Thursday.
On Thursdays when they close at 10. Yeah, you might get away with that. Might.
Right. Well, where we usually hold the Triangle Tesla meetups is in that big shopping center up near 540 and Highway 55. And there's a Target in there, and there's a supercharger, and it's basically a urban. It's basically used by all the people that live in the area. It's not. It's nowhere.
I don't think a lot of travel
it's no long distance people coming through there or going to that supercharger. Especially now that we have 65 in the state, and like Kyle said, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And you might, I think, because it's a Tesla charger, and I think you can get in and out, but on Saturday, I would tell you, expect to wait 5, 10, 15 minutes to plug in up there. Yeah, you're going to have to wait because people want to go into Target, and they're probably charging once or twice a week, and they want to get up pretty high while they're there so they don't have to come back maybe until the following weekend. And, you know, like you said, I wouldn't recommend going up there in the middle of the afternoon on a Saturday to do your shopping at Target or to supercharge because you'll be waiting.
Right.
But Don saw on Twitter, God, I'm so careful to believe anything now, that X, excuse me, I'm trying really hard. I even like X, but I just forget sometimes. Costco, people waiting for gas, 5 deep. You know, even and that's a regular occurrence, and people are caring about that. I don't understand how they can care about the 3 cent a gallon cheaper gas, saving them. Let's say an average car holds 20 gallons, so that's let me see, 3 times 20 is 60. That saves them 60 cents, but they're willing to wait for 15 to 30 minutes on the weekend.
I would say it's got to be.
I'm like, God, people, do the math on how much cheaper it could be to drive a Model 3 or a Model Y, because that is just nuts. And we've seen the little hiccups with the Colonial Pipeline cause people around town to either not be able to fill up or be waiting in the line 20 or 30 cars deep. So, I mean, to try to say that you only ever, I don't think Kyle was saying this, but the perception by some public people will be, well, I'm not getting one of those EVs because I'm going to be waiting in line to charge all the time. Well, no, not if you have home charging, and, well, you could be waiting with your ICE car too, would be what I would say back to them. But it's all about perception, because I imagine, I told Dawn, I said that one Costco picture, or the 2 or 3 times someone has captured a picture of a Tesla supercharger or a Costco backed up, it has made the rounds to make the point about how you're going to wait over and over and over again. It has no real description as to how often that occurs. And I do understand we're spoiled in North Carolina. We're a huge EV here now, especially in Wake County, but we got all these superchargers all over the place, and people around here have big pieces of property, and they have home charging for a good bit, because we just have a lot of space here where, you know, a lot of people live on half-acre or 1-acre lots. They have, even that neighborhood across the street was smaller property, they could have a garage charger or whatever. But out in California, I get it, in some of these, New York City, maybe Chicago, California, I get these really super packed in people, because we're not packed in. I mean, we feel like we're packed in sometimes, but in compared to some of these other places, we're not that packed in, that, you know, they may not have charging at home or whatever. So it's definitely, I think, to go back to what Don's point is, what are you going to say? You're going to get the most out of?
Right. If you're going to own an electric car, if you give up home charge, if you do not have home charging, you're going to give up one of the major benefits of owning an electric car to your personal life, because the benefit is you leave home charged every day. You don't have to go worry about, oh, I got to stop somewhere and buy gas today. I cannot I've said it before. How many times was I running late for work and I needed to stop and get gas?
How much happier you'd have been back in the day if you were driving a Volt.
How many times was I really tired at night and I was driving home and it's like, oh crap.
Right.
I had many times had to decide, do I want to go home, stop on the way home, or deal with it in the morning to fill up, to put gas in the car. I'm going to have to do it now or then. And of course, as a procrastinator, I always put it off to the next day, which always made it worse because now I was running late for work on top of needing gas. So the electric car removes that if you can charge at home.
Yeah. And it also, too, when people are considering, another point I had made was, it all depends on how many miles a week you're driving.
That's
you
right.
know, if you're...
Andy just said he's at his dad's house doing great.
On 110. Yep, he plugged in on 110. He'll have enough to get around locally there, no problems.
Yeah.
And when he heads out of town, he'll, supercharge on the way home because it would require that anyway, the distance. But... it's probably over 300 miles.
Yeah, but you could get by on 110.
Around, yeah, you sure can.
Doing that 30, 40 miles a day, it's not a problem.
Yeah. I guess the problem is people really do have to think through stuff a little bit, and they often just don't realize it or aren't willing to or don't know how or...
What brings us back to the point is that as an experience, and of course, we had the luxury of getting used to the electric car with home charging. So we could deal with the complexities of public charging. What I was referring to is people get all excited about owning an electric car. They charge it up a couple times at a DC fast charger. Maybe they wait a little, maybe they don't. But this is great. They say, oh wow, look at all the money I'm saving. It cost me $15 to charge my car where I'd have to pay $90 to fill up my gas car. They get all excited. But after 6 months of that and then having to wait every time they turn around, they're going to... I'm thinking they're going to sour a little bit, and they would say, oh, this electric car thing is really, starting to bite, and they're going to not be so enamored with it. The newness, the shininess is going to wear off.
Yeah, well, the one person that I worked with over at the school that ended up buying a Model Y, and they had resources and the property to put in home charging. They waited somewhere between 4 and 6 months.
Oh, I was going to say, I think.
And I had given them the information on the Duke rebate and a person that was a trusted local person to do the installation based on local Tesla owner feedback. And finally, they got it done.
Right.
But basically, she was living on going up to the charger at 4042. The supercharger up there, or maybe she was plugging in on 110 at home a little bit, and she didn't have super far mileage thing, but the one time she was over on our side of town, hey, can I stop by and put some juice in?
Yeah.
Which was no problem because we loved talking to her and seeing her, and we got, 3 places you could plug in over here technically. The carport, we could plug somebody in out there if we really needed to, so... it was no problem to let her come and put some juice in, although I do think it wasn't off-peak. But, we'll just let that slide for a minute. We didn't care. But, I'm sure she's happier with her car now that she can just plug it in and doesn't. I should ask her, are you plugging it in every night and charging it up? Or are you still doing what Dawn does at home where you sort of plug it in where you need to? Or... John plugs in Jules when he needs to.
Yeah,
I'm a little fussier about wanting full mileage so I have to take off. So I tend to. Leave. Not every night, but more so than Dawn. A little bit more as far as.
Ruby runs down quicker not plugged in. Jules will sit there for days. And
right, the vampire drain on Ruby is a little higher for whatever reason. So anyway. I wouldn't be too worried about a Tesla owner that didn't have charging at home, but I would be more worried about until they can reliably charge on the supercharger network. And also in North Carolina, I wouldn't be as worried as I would be in California about a non-Tesla EV or even a Tesla EV and trying to do all your charging at the supercharger. But
just go.
It's a big consideration, and courtesy to others would be appreciated.
Yeah, we need to get, if we want to help the price of as the price of electric cars come down, they're going to get into the hands of people who don't own homes or may not be able to get their landlords to install a charger. So this is where we need building codes and things put in place. And Tesla's doing what they can. I think that new version 3 charger they've got, especially now that NACS is kicking in, it does 6. They have a program where if you put in 6 chargers or something like that, they'll manage it and charge, as the landlord, if you put in 6 chargers, Tesla will charge your customers for you, keep up with which car's charging and bill them.
Yeah.
And give you your money back. You don't have to get into all those things. And it's going to take a while for that to kick in, but without the help from the building code people, again, I just pointed out, they just put a parking lot in downtown Fuquay Arena, dug up the entire lot, every scrap. Never even thought about running a single conduit ever. Could we ever want to put charging here? Never even crossed their mind. And this is the mentality. Until we start thinking about that, we're never going to solve the problem.
Right. Well, they also haven't finished the infrastructure for the lighting in the parking lot is there, but not installed. And it's really not safe in the wintertime after dark to park in that lot because it's pitch dark over there.
Right. And and I'm just I shouldn't say assuming. I mean, I've got eyes. I looked, and you see all the conduits sticking up for the light poles.
Right.
But they're not in right there where they would, there's no conduit sticking up in a strange place. Why is the conduit sticking
behind
up
where a car would park or in front of it where a car would?
Or anywhere like that.
Yeah.
So,
what a waste.
What a waste.
Yeah. One last thing, Duke coming out, according to Andy, with a leasing program for home charging.
That's right.
$14 a month or something. I didn't actually read the news article on that, but the whole complexity of, oh my God, I got to talk to an electrician and get an estimate, and what's a fair price, and how long is that going to take?
Pick out a charger.
Pick out well, that's easy. You just go watch Tom Malogny, or you just buy the Tesla one. But
people don't.
Yeah, I understand it. Even the thought of, like, I don't know anything about electricity, and you want me to contract with an electrician to come put in what's that thing called? A NEMA 1450 or something? Anyway, Duke's apparently going to have a leasing program. Maybe that'll help.
Right, because they're going to amateurize the cost of the installation over yours and everybody else's. In other words, I'm sure the $14 a month, it probably is a one-time fee up front, but that doesn't really enough to cover the installation. But that will at least take a bite out of it, because the contractor, this house is going to only need 20 feet of wire, and this one over here needs 60 feet of wire. It's going to average it out and get the cost down, because the contractor's going to be busy installing chargers all the time.
Yeah.
It gets the cost down. Right now, if you got to hire a custom electrician to come out and look at your thing and then come back and figure out what you need and all this other stuff, it just drives the cost up. Whereas the guy says, well, it's like the guy installed my garage door. All those guys do is install garage doors. They don't do anything else. But man, they put that garage door in and like bang, bang, bang. They had the rails up, the spring adjusted, boom, they were gone.
Yeah, not the opener, but the actual door.
Garage door
itself. After you and JB had finished in the garage.
Right, and it's the same thing with electricians doing these chargers. Man, you could come up with your little system. Your little hammer drill goes right through the foundation, and bang, you put the pole right here, and bang, you've got the pole on the truck, you've got the charger on the truck, you got everything you need on the truck. You don't have to do special planning or anything. Yeah. Well, considering
NEMA 1450 is cheaper and totally fine, especially for houses with only one vehicle trying to charge. You don't need help with which vehicle, managing the load on the circuit or whatever. But, you got to figure the Tesla wall connector is $400-ish, 500. I don't know. You know, the price goes up and down. I think it's 400. And then getting the electrician out there to put in the wiring. Let's just hope it's not more than 500, that your electrical box is close to where you're charging and stuff. And when you figure out how long $14 a month to Duke would take to make up for that $1,000 investment, although I still think the rebate from Duke is out there and you could get a good bit of it back.
The thing, I think basically the first $1,000 is pretty much covered.
Right. So I'm just saying, but you have to kind of do the math. How long are you going to stay in the dwelling? You know the things. Which is easier for you to negotiate? Just have Duke come handle it, or you call an electrician. But it's good that Duke's giving people a choice. Maybe that'll help in some cases.
Right.
So what wonderful insight did you get from X this time? I agree with this insight, by the way.
Right. Basically, he was on Tucker Carlson.
Like him or not like him?
Or not. But he was this gentleman who used to work in the pharmaceutical industry, and he explained why there's pharmaceutical ads on your network news at night. And I used to see them, and I used to think, oh, well, they're all those really healthy, sexy-looking older people.
Like you.
Well,
I stunned him.
The network news, the demographic is older people. They're not reaching Johnny. Johnny has never seen the network news unless he happened to glance at when I was looking at it.
That's probably true.
So they're after the older, I would just say over 50 demographic. All right, watches the network news. Well, where I was going with this is they show these ads for these various different pharmaceuticals, and they're not people getting by, can barely get out of the recliner and make it into the bathroom to pee. They're all these healthy, silver-haired, glamorous people jet-setting around on the beach and the tennis court, and they're just enjoying life.
This drug fixed them right on up.
They're taking this drug, and how much better. So I assumed that was to get me to go to my doctor. Says, you need to give me that drug because I want to be that silver-haired person. You know, I really want to be that silver-haired person. But this guy says that's not it. And they already got the doctor. The doctor is hook, line, and sinker. You don't have to go tell your doctor anything. He's going to prescribe to you those drugs. You don't have to worry. The reason that the pharmaceutical company buys the ad is to make sure the news media doesn't cover anything negative about pharmaceuticals. Because what's happened is all the news budgets, these network news companies, they've got high dollar talent, high dollar staff, they're basically funding this, trying to fund this thing, and nobody else will give them that kind of revenue, and they're used to this really lucrative advertising deal. Pharma gives them plenty of money. They're all having chauffeurs pick them up and carry them into the office. They don't have to deal with anything. Well, all the pharmaceuticals says, well, we're not going to buy any more ads. And then they look around and say, well, how are we going to maintain our great lifestyle? If pharmaceuticals pull their ads, we're going to be, like all those out-of-work newspapers everywhere. All those journals will be out on the street, so they don't do ads on pharmaceutical companies. Right.
Well, it's similar to the Tesla thing.
Oh,
there's
yeah,
all of these local car. John Heister Chevrolet advertises on WRAL. Crossroads Ford advertises on WRAL, and I'm sure WTVD or other local major station and Fox 50, and they might, a blip like, oh yeah, Ford just had this recall today or something, but or they don't cover it. But the Tesla is,
oh my God,
every adjective in the book.
What was it? A Tesla kitty car. One of the, Tesla a few years ago gave away, or if you,
it was either a lead acid. There's a lot of rumor around that story, but it was either a lead acid battery removed from a Tesla or a lead acid battery removed from a Tesla kitty car. But, you know, the house nearly exploded. The 5 inhabitants of the house had smoke in. But Tesla, right, Tesla didn't even make that battery. They bought that lead acid crap from somebody else. Yeah, and that was all over the news. The Tesla battery almost killed 4 or 5. They had to be taken to the hospital for observation. It was the worst case of clickbait using the Tesla name I have seen in the local, because the station manager, like the Capitol Broadcasting guy, he actually drives a Model X. One of the bigwigs over there at Capitol Broadcasting, and Mike, the weather guy, who has no association to their advertisers and the clickbait stuff. But it's the same thing. It's like, well, they're not going to say too much negative about the local guys paying their ad, but they'll be glad to say stuff about Tesla because they don't buy no ads on their station. It's the same. Follow the money, people. Follow the money. I have seriously made a dent, but I have not found the train cars, and I didn't know there were possibly train cars in here, but now that I know, like, I really want to know, so I'm gonna go dump it just so I can see if there's any, because I would not say that I've seen the colors dark blue for the train cars, even if I don't find the actual train, you know, like, I don't think they're in here disassembled, so I either find them whole or they're not here. And I only found one piece of train track. Technically, there should have been more pieces of train track. Wow, I still don't see the train, but I haven't rummaged through there yet. Well, I am sad to report that, best as I can tell, the trains themselves, the motor and wheels and such, is not here. Just the remote and one piece of train track. Yeah, somebody's going to be awfully upset they don't have the remote for the train, that it got given away, probably, would be a guess. Maybe they gave stuff away in 2 bins. I don't know. Guardian Angel said the bin came in like that and they just put a price on it and put it out. They didn't go through it or open it up or anything. So I know they didn't accidentally get stuff separated. I've pulled out a Minecraft set and about 30 minifigures and a Mario set and this pirate ship coaster set, and it's still an awesome bin because I didn't even know there was train anything in it when I bought it. It's just that, you know, I got my hopes up that the train might have been in there, and it's not. I'm going to dump this back into the bin. I just had to know. Had to know. Dawn is dressed for birdhouse stuff. Got the wagon, got the ladder, got the unicycle. Yeah. Got birdhouses, got bungee cords, tools. Yeah, we're going to start with opening up the one behind the scoreboard that we installed last year and making sure it's ready to go. Hopefully we don't find any birds that have actually nested yet. Shouldn't, I don't think, but a little early.
But they're hunting houses. That's why we're putting it up now, is because the birds, they hunt. They go around and kind of test places and put a few pieces of straw on, and then they build somewhere.
Try to attract the mate, all those things. Yeah. Well, this is the easiest one we have to get to. Well, maybe 1 or 2 in the environmental parking lot, but pretty much over here. And the boys are practicing ball. It's getting to be springtime here. Although I guess Mike, the weather guy, was saying we're going to be below average temp here for the next little while. Could be cold finish. Box is in good shape. Yeah. Cup's in good shape. You're supposed to take that far away. Not supposed to do it right underneath the box. I guess it could attract predators. Although there's no egg or anything in there, so I don't know why. But this was the brand new real Bailey's bird box. Don did the... Huh? Yeah, we didn't do as good as we should about coming and cleaning it out in between. But they will build one on top of the other. And the only reason why that's bad is it puts the chicks a little closer to predators at the hole, the height of the nest. The fact that the birds put some new straw on top and did nest number 2, that part's it's not bad, but being higher to closer to the hole is not so great. Don was going to put 2023 on it. Yeah, because that's when we put it up. Like a guy in his little red wagon hauling his tools around. That's right. We picked a good day. Yeah, it's good. The weather couldn't be any nicer. Yeah. I had to ditch my coat. I don't know what the temp is. It was supposed to be 54. Yeah, well, the sun's plenty strong. Yeah, I'd say over here in the sun it's pretty nice. I don't know about in the shade if I'll be so happy ditching my coat. Probably be okay as long as I keep moving. I'm making Don make sure there's nothing too close to the to the box everywhere we go. Don't want predators launching onto the box. We put this box up too. We took down the one that was on it. We didn't install the pole, but we installed the, but yeah, someone had stole the cup out of it on us.
I brought an extra cup. I remember making this
guard.
Guard.
Adding the guard to it. Yeah, that's kind of important.
So this is 23 box too, or is this?
Yes,
20? Yeah.
It's a 23 box. You got a wasp thing up high in there. You got to get that out. There's no wasps on it right now. So she says.
I was gonna say there was a piece of pine straw poking out of the box, and wasps put it there.
I'm surprised this one wasn't used, but I don't know that it wasn't used because somebody came and may have destroyed the nest that was in there.
Yeah, well, we bought a.
Really sucks.
We brought a
that
cup.
Someone would open it up and steal the cup and possibly just dump the nest on the ground. I think we saw the nest on the ground. I installed a screw because I don't want anybody in the box unless Dawn's the one in the box. They got to bring equipment. Although, you know, they might try to rip it off the pole when they can't get into it because they're frustrated, but you can only do so much to stop idiots. Rude people, people that don't care. I don't know what kind of people they are, but not the kind of people that I'm happy with.
Right.
Yeah. Because we saw bluebirds here the prior year.
Yeah.
They were nesting in it, and that birdhouse was not repairable. The roof was off of it. It was just a disaster. It wasn't a good birdhouse, but the pole was great, so we put the good box on it. And but then somebody came and took the nest out of the box. The nesting cup, and I think there was a nest in it. So that's number 2. This box was up high and had fallen.
So it's 4 years. It'll be 4 years old. In oh, it's got something in it. Trying to see
how to get, if there's a intended way to get into it. Yeah, that's an okay box. It's worth putting it back up. There was nesting in there, not bluebird nest, and Don's removing the old nesting stuff. There was no official way to get in, but Don took out a couple screws and he feels he can get the back on.
Well,
so
the screw screwed into the base and to this piece here. So it's true that the brad nails, they were holding it somewhat, but
they weren't really holding it.
They weren't really the thing. It won't fall apart.
Right. We're gonna put a cup in it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know. Are we gonna put a cup in it?
I don't know.
Well, it's got a really low hole. This is one of those different. See where the hole is?
Yeah, I wonder what kind of a bird this was supposed to be for. Intended for. I don't know what the right answer is. But the cup would be nowhere near as big as the...
yeah, I think we're going to just
let it go back up the way it came down. Okay. Don marked the back of the box so he knows which side he took off. Opens it up to clean it again and take off the same side. We don't know if this one fell because it was just really ready to fall, or if somebody like threw a basketball at it or something and got it off the tree.
Yeah, I vote basketball.
Yeah, it's not a fragile box. A guy just came on his skateboard flying around that corner, said, "Excuse me," and it's like there was nothing we could do, and he ended up wiping out right there. And I think he hit the sweet gum balls. You know, he stood back up, was a full adult, older adult.
Yeah, had a kid. Had
his 6-year-old, 8-year-old with him. I'm sorry he fell, but I don't feel like we contributed.
Right.
Besides the trails for walking, not for motorized, you know, we got to share the trail. Since Don's dressed for it, he is getting stuff that's farther off the trail than we pick up on our regular walk.
Yeah, I don't mind kind of going up in the bushes and the briars when I'm properly dressed.
Right.
This duck canvas is pretty stout stuff. The thorns are always stouter.
We had left that backing up on the tree. You know, those kids that destroyed this box, stole the box. We never found it. We hoped when it got to be fall and we could see better, it might show up, but...
Yeah, well, this box was a gift from Adam.
No, this box came from Guardian Angel and had hand painted stuff on it. And this box was a gift from our viewer in California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was a gift.
That she sent it as a replacement for this one that got stolen. Yeah, and we were a little leery to put it up for fear to get stolen again, but
Right, well,
Don's going to put it higher.
Plus it was late. I mean, it was really...
It was right, probably after nesting. So that ladder's as old as me. My dad had that ladder in New Jersey, I'm pretty darn sure, when he was refinishing the upstairs on the house in Trenton.
These are illegal.
I know, but it's never been wet or abused, and it's the wood's dry. It's good.
It did really good. I was able to get that box up there, no problem.
Yeah, it's easily 4 foot higher than it was before. They'll have to work at it. Get on somebody's back, carry something taller or heavier down here. It's you know, Don's 6 foot and he can't reach it. So
yeah, well, the best thing is when they jump up there to try to hit it like it's a basketball thing, that sliding down that bark of that tree.
Well,
Hopefully they'll be wearing nothing but a little tank top and a
Donnie, behave. You were going to cut the vine, although because I don't want the poison ivy growing farther up the tree, but it is a poison ivy vine. Although messing with the box and getting poison ivy, that might be just yeah, just snip it at the bottom. Yeah, there's a lot of trash up that slope, so I offered for him to throw it down here and gather it in the bag, but he wanted to take the bag up, so best as I can figure, the family must throw it over the top of the hill. It's very hard to throw uphill plastic, lightweight stuff. Yeah, try not to get your boots wet. He's getting that Dollar General bag for me. Oh, I just needed to hear that out here in the wilderness, the nature. I needed that noise. I did.
But you know, you're not really out in the wilderness.
Yeah. Just stopping to appreciate the water running over the rocks down there. I do realize I got off easy today.
It's okay.
I'm ready to be back at the van and we've got the whole trail to walk.
Yeah.
But I'm not the one pulling the...
Uphill, I might add.
The little red wagon. Yeah, this is that hill that we don't like. We're almost up.
Whoa,
that's a piece of barbed wire that my ankles got caught on. But thankfully I wasn't moving too quick because I was enjoying it out here. There's a few pieces of trash Don's going to try to grab, and I'm just hanging out with them and enjoying the view. You can tell the water floods up high over here, and wow, serious sand in this stretch of the creek. It's almost as good a beach. Some people bring their dogs up in here, have them a good old time. I'm having fun playing in the woods. Unfortunately, there's a lot of trash over there, but I don't think we can. We're pretty full on the wagon now. And the stuff we can see from the trail, which is this way, we've certainly handled. There's a trellis down here. I don't know, maybe some kids brought that down here to try to use it to walk across part of the stream. I'm going to carry it out. I might keep it, we'll see. Dang, Donnie.
Well, the simple answer is an unlimited supply of trash.
Even over where you just were?
Oh yeah, I mean, basically I filled up everything I had. I can't, you know.
You couldn't carry anymore.
Pretty much can't.
Don went back to cut the piece of wire that I nearly hurt myself on. It's not serving any purpose, so. Boy, is it nice to be back out here in the sun. I'm missing that jacket I ditched up at the van. Poor Don. First off, it's heavy. Second off, the handle's too short for a 6 foot tall guy. Well, we didn't have anything better and it's working okay, so.
It's fine. It's just plodding along. Praying it doesn't spill.
Yeah, that would be the bad. Don't let it fall over.
Break more bungee cords.
Yeah, we stopped over here at the environmental park and cleaned out bluebird nests from the 2 boxes here in the parking lot. So it must have been some successful hatches last year.